Hello guys, this is Alpha Wolf, and yes, I really have gotten that bored. I decided to read every piece of lore on every exotic gun, so you don't have to. Before we get any further, as many of you already know, this is what Brian did on his I read all 357 Skyrim books, so you don't have to. The difference between his video and this one is he's funny and I'm not, and also he read 357 Skyrim books, while I'm only going to read 67 pieces of exotic lore, which is a lot shorter if you haven't noticed. Also, if you want to have a laugh, I'm sure you know his channel, but if you don't, go check out his Unravel series. He's absolutely hilarious. Now, with out of the way, let me answer probably the most important question. Why am I doing this? Well, I want to see if there are any interesting pieces of knowledge I don't know, and the fact that YouTube is an ever-hungry beast, and if I don't post a video every 5 seconds, I'll never see the light of day ever again. If I read you every lore piece and then said what I got out of it, we would be here for forever, and this video would be 2 hours long. So I'll just go over the coolest bits of info I found, and tell you what I learned from reading every piece of exotic weapon lore, so you don't have to. Also keep in mind, I don't know Destiny's lore like the back of my hand, so if I am wrong in a couple of assumptions, I am really sorry in advance. If you want actual lore, go check out My Name is Five, because he's actually insane, and I don't know how he has the time to remember everything. Okay, well, with that out of the way, here we go. First off, we have the Rat King. This gun was named after the story of a boy who ventured outside the walls of the last city and then died. He then became a Rat King and led other children outside the walls to join his makeshift army. Weirdly, the lore states that he actually saved the world. No mention to how, but apparently he did. Number 2 is the Mida multi-tool. This weapon was used by a guerrilla warfare group on Mars called Mida. Apparently when Mida ruled Mars, this gun was used in battle and killed 10% of the native Martian population. Imagine if Mida multi-tool was actually a good weapon. They probably would have killed like 100% of everyone. Jade Rabbit. After being resurrected, Guardians feel crippling existential crisis and social anxiety. So basically, after getting revived, Guardians feel like teenagers in high school. Who knew? Malfeasance. The maker of this weapon knew about Thorn and he tried to find a replacement for it. He couldn't, so instead he made Malfeasance. He then says, "This will never be that Thorn, but to me, it's better," which is, he's referring to Malfeasance. This guy is actually the Drifter. So the Drifter made this gun along with someone else. He then says, maybe we can't outshoot him, the man with the golden gun. Maybe he can't be outshot. But if we all take our shot together, we don't have to beat him. He'll die too. So the Drifter is in a gang of people who all want to kill the man with the golden gun. Interesting. I'm not sure who this gang is, but you guys probably know who he is because I'm probably stupid. Next is going to be the Ace of Spades. Cade left the Ace of Spades, all of his stashes, Colonel, and his debts to whomever killed him. That would be Uldren Sov, and since he never signed the same agreement, it's technically his stuff. So Colonel is owned by Uldren, but screw Uldren, he killed the best character in this dang franchise, so I don't care about legal documents. But he did just get revived by pulled pork, that ghost. So is Colonel now technically his? What about Ace of Spades? Is that technically his? So, I don't know. Something to think about though. Next we have the Fighting Lion. This gun was made by a Guardian who could shatter granite and move mountains by punching them. Pretty cool. Next we have Sunshot. Liu Fang, the maker of Sunshot, also made this Sunbracer exotic gauntlet for the Warlock. So, pretty interesting. Next we have the Graviton Lance. This gun was found and I guess it was made in Chicago. So shout out to my Illinois boys. If you want to hashtag represent for your state, pop on the Graviton Lance Crucible. It's actually really good. It's a 3-tap, but that's getting off topic. Let's not talk about that. Next we have the Prometheus Lens. Now I know I said I wouldn't just, read off every lore piece and everything and then tell you my thoughts, but me as a bad storyteller, I'd screw it up. So I'm just going to read it off, and it's quite a funny story, so here it is. So this is all from the point of view of the Cryptarch answering the Hunter. How does it work? The underlying principles are quite simple. This gun, Fiery Allure Fight, it's an Ionian crystal which bears some resemblance to the rudimentary perovskite, which is, as you should know, a crystal with unique photovoltaic properties. Photovoltaic, it means regarding the conversion of light into electricity. No, the gun doesn't create electricity. The gun induces an internal combustion reactor. It's perovskite that... I just explained the perovskite. If you don't stop interrupting... Wait, I remember you. You're one of Kate's hunters. Get out of here. Shoot. The Cryptarch wants nothing of you. As you can see, I'm a very bad voice actor. But go read it. It's actually quite funny on its own. Next is the Trinity Ghoul. Marin, the creator, or at least the wielder of this bow, was with her friend Rin. Rin got captured by the Fallen and held her as ransom. They brought Marin to a plain and put Rin on a faraway mountainside. They put a drink on Rin's head and told Marin that if she shot the drink, they would let Rin go. If she missed, they would kill both of them. We don't know if she made the shot or missed, but it is a cool, like William Tell type story. Next we have the Wave Splitter. This weapon actually fires sound. Yeah, kinda weird. There was a FAQ, fictional FAQ on the weapon, and people asked, can it be used as an instrument? And Amalon more or less said, it wasn't intended as such, but knock yourself out. Next we have the Ariana's Vow. This weapon was wielded by Ariana III, a guardian who was part of Aerys' fire team when trying to kill Crota in the Crota's End raid. We get everyone's name, including of course Ariana and Aerys, but also Sai, Omar, who's going to be mentioned later in the video, and one name I do recognize, Toland. I did not know that. You guys probably knew that since D1 or whatever, but I didn't know Toland was part of Aerys' fire team. Next we have the Divinity. This weapon is actually an object of Vex's worship. No idea why, but it is interesting. Also, it says a fire team before our guardians tried to take this weapon. I don't know if they succeeded, but it looks as if they did. Next we have Tommy's Matchbook. After Cade's death, hunters started doing random important stuff or hiding to try to avoid the Vanguard dare, as Cade tried to do himself. Well, he made the Vanguard dare, but none of them wanted to be part of the Vanguard, so they all went into hiding or started going off on random missions. So it's kind of sad what impact Cade's death had on all the hunters. Next we have the Darcy. This weapon, like Merciless, is also sentient, but this weapon actively searches for a good wielder. Apparently there's a communication set up between every manufacturer of Darcy. This means every Darcy, no joke, and I quote, gossip at some length about the habits of our wielders. It goes on to say, do you leave Crucible matches when your team is losing? Do you join strike missions and let your comrades do the work? Guardian, we know. We know so very well. So Darcy is basically Santa Claus. He sees you when you're sleeping, he knows when you're awake, he knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. Or it'll make you miss your crit spots when you're trying to deal damage to the last Scourge boss. So you better not leave your Crucible matches, friends. Next we have the Queen's Breaker. Both the lore from this gun and that of the lore from the Lord of Wolves have the same characters. A warlock, a fallen wolf, and a hunter. I don't understand the lore, I couldn't make out any story, but there might be a greater story that I just don't understand. So you guys should go check out the lore for the Queen's Breaker and then the Lord of Wolves. Next we have the Whisper of the Worm. This one is it's kind of confusing, but what I got out of it is that before dying by our hands on Mars, Xol wanted to become immortal. As a god, for some reason, he was immortal, so he decided to put a piece of himself, a piece of his soul, in the Whisper of the Worm. This made me realize two things. A, Xol could be telling Guardians things through the gun, giving its name, Whisper of the Worm. It's legit a worm whispering. And two, Xol is basically Voldemort, but instead of Horcruxes, he uses this gun. Next we have Xenophage. I thought that Aerys was the only survivor when they failed at killing Crota, but apparently Omar also survived. This is, in fact, the same Omar from that Ariana's Vow thing. After being captured by the Hive, they took his soul and his light, but they messed up somehow. It doesn't show how. His light is coming back slowly, but now Omar feels empty. He says, I'm still me. I'm just not the me I knew. The one with 2 arms and 2 legs. I'm something smaller now. Not quite sure what he is now, but he is alive. I think he will either become like a Tolan type thing, or but the second of that I believe more, one of those bug type things you see in the strike when you kill Nokris. The second one, like I said, is definitely more likely because when you reload Xenophage, you see that sort of color and like a small kind of light thing. Also, Omar says he's become small. If you hadn't noticed, bugs are small. Also, there's a sign of a bug on the side of Xenophage. You'll probably see it right here. Next, we have Leviathan's Breath. This bow was used by Calus's hunter, Volk. I don't know if I'm saying that. Maybe it's Voik. But Calus loved having the heads and hides of the rarest creatures on his wall, and he employed Voik for just that. She/he used Leviathan's Breath to kill apparently more monsters than the entire Vanguard combined, almost killed Gaul, killed a sea monster, Gwyn the Undefeatable, no idea who that is, and an Ahamkar, which, if you don't know, is what Riven is. So that was all the stories that I thought were the most interesting. Reading all the lore on all the exotic weapons took a little bit over 2 hours, so do I recommend reading 2 hours of stories? Surprisingly, yes, it was really fun, and you should see if you find any deeper meanings to things I thought were pointless. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoy my content, consider subscribing. After writing this script, I checked My Name is Bife's channel, and apparently he did videos on more in-depth lore on some of the guns, so check out those videos if you want a more serious dive into lore. Also, tell your friends about some of the stories you heard in this video, and I hope you have a great day. See ya!